Hey YouTube, Gallagher123123 back with another Royal Caribbean cruise ship cabin tour. Fun fact, it was about 2 years ago now that I recorded my first cabin tour, which happened to be an ocean view cabin on Serenade of the Seas, which was the third Radiance-class cruise ship. Since then, I've done several other ship classes, showing a room on Oasis class, Quantum class, and the Freedom class. Well, now we're actually back on another Radiance class cruise ship. Here we are in cabin 4021 on Brilliance of the Seas, the second Radiance class cruise ship from 2002. Here I have an interior cabin, again number 4021, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. Now some of this, even though it's an interior, will actually look quite familiar to what we had on Serenade. As we come in through the door, on the right side we have the switch for the lights. And look at that, if I turn that off, because it's an interior, you see nothing. And then, so that's on the right when you come in the door. Now, if we turn to face the room, and on the left, as we walk in, we have the closet space. A very nice closet space. You have a spot to hang clothes that you need to hang, and some shelving, and look at that, more hanging space. I think there's plenty of room to store things in this cabin. My suitcase fits nicely there on the floor of the closet, and that's that. And on the right, as we come in, or right, if we walk forward into the cabin, we have the bathroom. Now I'll take a look at that in a moment. To the left of that, we do have the light switch for the bathroom, and pressing it up turns it off, and down turns it on. And above that, we do have a knob, and I believe, from what I remember discovering on Serenade, that controls the volume of the PA announcements for announcements that are played to the cabin, which is not many. So I actually just leave that on whatever it comes set to, so it was good enough. I mean, you're not going to hear it much anyway, and for real mission-critical emergency announcements, that can be overridden, I think. And above that, we have our thermostat control. Alright, let's press this switch, open the door, press the switch down, and let's take a look at this bathroom. Coming in here to it, I'll close the door, and take a look. So on the left, we have the sink, mirror, there I am, hello there. And beneath the sink, there's some shelving. So if you want to store like toiletries, there's plenty of room there to do that. That's what I have done here. Of course, you have your towels and all that. Some hand towels. And off to the right, when you come in, you have all the way of the toilet, and near just ahead of that is the towel racks, which have like bigger towels. And then next to the toilet, we do have the shower. Now, this is probably the biggest difference between cabins on Serenade and Brilliance. The first two Radiance-class ships, Radiance and Brilliance, have shower curtains instead of the doors that we've seen. So, I don't love this. See, let's step in, we can take a look at it. And I know I've heard reviews that people are not a fan of these either, and it'll get the job done. And just your standard shower. You probably have your two knobs here. Yep, I feel them. for controlling, turning it on and off, and the temperature. And you have your all-in-one soap, shampoo type stuff that Royal typically provides. Let's come out of there. And that's the bathroom. Trash, all that. All the important stuff is here. All right, now, as we typically do in our cruise ship cabin tours, let's flush this. And this, this toilet on Brilliance is the loudest I've had, I think. Good grief. All right, that's enough of the bathroom, except for a little pan around it. So, you know, functional, gets the job done. But let's come out of here and continue the room tour. And we'll come in further, and on the left, actually right on the left, we have our desk, and it has like some bureau shelves, so you can store clothes there. There are 3 drawers. Very spacious. I was able to fill in what I needed. And there's a chair, so if you want to sit down, you can. And behind that desk, you do have your plugs, and you have a switch for the lights here. So if you want, for the like vanity type, you can do that. There's lights there. US and European outlets are there. And continuing down, we have the US as well. And then we have more drawers, another set of 3 drawers there. And then in here, I believe, is where, if we can, after the 3 drawers, I believe this is where we'll find the cooler. So, not a full mini fridge, but would keep a drink cool. But again, not a fridge. And then behind that, so behind us when we're facing the desk, we have a nice couch. I love that cruise ship cabins have these. Like, I love just to sit here sometimes if I'm doing work on my laptop or whatever. I like to sit there. It's kind of relaxing. So that's there. And we also have a little coffee table. Right now I have my cane, headphones. This room is going to look pretty lived in. I mean, I've been here a few days now. But it's, again, nice to have that little table. And I think Serenade was the last ship I was on that had a table here. Okay, as we continue in, we come to the bed. There it is. One big, nice, comfortable bed. Of course, if you're sharing this room, you can have it split up, but I like it this way. I'm traveling solo on this 7-day cruise, so this is perfect. And on either side of the bed, I'll come to the one on the right, because I think they're the exact same. We have a nightstand, and there's a drawer in the nightstand as well. There's a drawer, and then there's like a little shelf at the bottom. So that's quite nice. And above that, there is a reading light here, it looks like. Yep. And there are 2 pieces to this. There's the first switch, which turns on the main part of the light there. And then the next one does, over to the right, does the small, like, I guess you could almost do like a night light, or maybe that's more of like a reading light. I don't know. And then right below that on this side, we do have another master switch for the lights. I actually really appreciate there's a switch for that by the bed. I don't remember that being the case in my last interior, which was on Liberty of the Seas. So that's this area. And I think we've covered everything. A couple small things I think I missed. So let's just take another walk around this very comfortable cabin. Oh, we do have a towel animal on the bed. According to Be My Eyes, it's a frog. So very cool, very charming part of cruising to get these towel animals. And okay, we do have these curtains too that can kind of separate the bed from the living space. kind of unique. We do have a TV. I knew I was forgetting some stuff. And of course, here I do have my little talking clock. Someone was asking me about that in the Liberty tour, because I guess I didn't do my tradition of pressing it.
The time is now 28 minutes past 12 p.m.
Okay, actually, it's an hour off, because it's 1. We're in Nova Scotia right now, so. And there's the TV. Oh, we do have some shelving up above the, like, vanity area. So, it has a safe in there. And you have some shelving. So, again, there's really a lot of nice places where you can put stuff. And over by the couch, let's see, there's a full-length mirror there. And we have another one of these reading light setups. It's exactly the same. So you have 3 of those. You have one by each side of the bed and one by the couch. So that's very nice. Okay, well, I think that about covers it for this cabin tour of 4021 on Brilliance of the Seas. So this is a very comfortable little cabin. It's cozy. I think it's a little bit bigger than the interior I had on Liberty, which is interesting because Brilliance is a smaller ship, but I actually kind of think I like this one a little bit better. So, it's just been nice to be back on a Radiance-class cruise ship. You know, I'm reminded as I go through, this is the first time that I'm repeating a ship class. I've been focused on trying others. And I'm reminded being back on a Radiance-class ship why I loved Serenade so much. So, it's definitely, there is truth to what people have said that, you know, if you've been on one ship of a class, you'll pretty much like them all the same. You know, there's some changes. Some venues are a little bit different here on Brilliance compared to Serenade. But at its core, it's the same ship that I loved. So that's very cool. Alright, so again, this is 4021 on Brilliance of the Seas. Deck 4. It's very conveniently located, actually. Not too far from either side, the forward. It's considered a forward cabin, but it's not too bad either to get aft. And this is the same floor as the dining room, so that's been pretty nice. Alright, well, stay tuned. I do have I have a few more of the traditional videos that I always do with cruise ship content, so you'll want to stay tuned for those. And, well, I'll let you in on a little surprise. I will have one more cabin tour out by the end of the year, because in December I will be sailing on Vision of the Seas. So if you enjoy these cruise ship cabin tours, you'll want to stay tuned for that one. Probably out around, if I follow the usual pattern, December 19th. Might as well reveal that date now. December 19th, you can expect a cabin tour of Vision of the Seas, and that will also be a Deck 4 interior. It'll be interesting to compare what that is like compared to this, as I know Radiance and Vision classes are considered the smallest ships that Royal has. And I'll be interested to see how they're different. Alright. Thank you for watching this cabin tour. Hope you found it helpful, and I will see you in the next video.
Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give the video a like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get notified about upcoming videos. Follow me on Twitter at Gallagher123123. You can also find me on Mastodon at Gallagher123123 at dragonscave.space. Thank you again for watching. We will see you in an upcoming video.